Uh, First of all, my name is Fauzan Sibrits. I have the task of being the chairperson of the Homestead, and we've just completed our closed session, and we're moving on to the open session. And welcome everybody. It's unusual times. It's COVID times, and it's always good to see and experience the Homestead family. So welcome everybody to this specific open session, and I can't thank you guys enough for your support and your participation. Is there any apologies?
Yes, we have a list that'll be added to the minutes.
Okay.
Paul, is Kenny on that list?
No, but I'll put him on.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Right. Okay. So can we have you sent out the minutes to everybody, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. So can we confirm that people have received the minutes? Okay. Can we have somebody move the acceptance of the minutes?
I'll move. Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. Can we second
I'm
it?
happy to accept.
Okay. Is there any matters arising out of that minutes a year ago that we need to deal with? Okay. Can we then move on to item C? And as part of the chairperson's report, I'd like Paul to present the annual report in summary. So Paul, can you go ahead and do so?
Sure. Sure, I'll do that. So I sent out the annual report, and it will be on our website. It actually is already on our website, which is homestead.org.za. And I'll soon add the annual financial statements as well into the just hold on. So this was quite a year at the Homestead. We actually had a lot of fun, and even though it was difficult with COVID, just before COVID, we did a whole lot of outings and everything. This is a picture of taking the kids to the from our one drop-in center. It took about 100 children to the Blue Train. We're now a member of the Consortium for Street Children, which is a UN network. All our wonderful donors, we're really grateful to. Then we've got our Homestead mission, etc. We explain all our projects. Got the director's report, which is really going over COVID. We actually managed to keep infections really out of the organization and to keep all our projects going. And I really appreciate how much the staff and the board and everybody and our donors went the extra mile to make sure we all had PPE equipment and be able to social distance, etc., etc. So I really appreciate that. The project focus for the last financial year was really therapeutic, building our therapeutic services. We employed 3 more social workers thanks to funding from the Department of Social Development for our drop-in centers. And right across the organization, all our social workers focused back on doing therapeutic work with children, individual counseling, group work, etc., which actually made a big impact on the children, because really ultimately we work with traumatized children, chronically neglected, abused, physically and sexually and mentally abused, and exploited children, children that have been abandoned, etc. Finances for the year, we actually came out, which we'll get to, we came out with a small operating loss of about 250,000 Rand, which is quite good under the circumstances, but more about that later. Just some pictures, all the kids with their masks on, all the kids cleaning and disinfecting. We even had a group coming in to disinfect weekly. Financial overview, as I said, we ended off with a small operating loss. We spent about 11.5 million Rand during this financial year. Administration costs were less than 10% and down. Payroll costs were up because of all the new social workers, and program costs were substantially up because as we go along, we just invest more and more money into the children, directly into the children. So I'm really grateful that, you know, we got our monthly donors, our cash donors, and the companies and trusts that donate to us. All that money goes directly to the children, because money from the Department of Social Development and from Marina and the big guys cover most of our salaries, etc., etc. So it's really nice that we've got such a wide donor base and we're able to invest in the children. And when I talk about investing in the children, I'm talking about education, driver's licenses, right through to food, and etc., etc. This is our budget for the following year. We've got a projected loss at the moment of nearly R1 million, but we're very grateful that even in these difficult times, our donors are supporting us, and we're very grateful for that. Homestead projects. This is Ricardo, the manager. He's actually online. Built a computer room so the boys could do all their schooling online, etc., right through the lockdown. Very grateful. The staff actually locked in with the kids for 3 weeks at a time, and it's been amazing how the children have actually stuck to the lockdown. School attendance that last year was at 67%, and we're very grateful that we can maintain our education levels, children attending school at about 70%. Country of origin is very interesting. Most of the children, 87% of them, come from locally in South Africa. Then we got about 8.5% from Zimbabwe, and we have kids from Nigeria and Congo, and sometimes we even have children from Kenya and Tanzania and whatever, but they quite a small percentage of the children that we do have. And this is our new computer room and library. Launchpad has been going very well. 10 young men moved out of the Launchpad. The Launchpad is for children, youth preparing to leave care, and we work so that they don't go back onto the street, but they actually succeed in life and get a job or carry on with their studies. So 10 moved out. None of them went onto the street. This team works very, very hard. This year we had 3 of these are finishing their grade 12, and 4 have found employment. None of them have gone back onto the street. We did have one child that went back onto the street for a period, but he's since been got off. Education levels are really interesting. We've got about 15 of these boys out of the 25 that are actually in high school now, with 2 doing grade 12 this year. 9 of them will be moving out of the center into independent living at the end of this year. Again, a very small center with 25 big strapping young men in it. They stuck to the lockdown. They stayed inside. I'm amazed at actually how much effort the staff and the boys did to get over this. We had a lot of help from outside. We got donations of laptops from the waterfront and etc. The generosity was amazing to keep our boys entertained and the education going. They did all sorts of things like fancy dresses. They designed a new center that we are hoping to move the launch pad into its own center sometime soon because it's very small. They went out and did a community collection for ladles of love. They went and delivered stuff on their bicycles and their skateboards. Going very well as well. Drop-in centers, I'm very grateful to Zabile for stepping in to cover for Nazuka while she's been away on extended maternity leave. We've got 5 drop-in centers, Manenberg, Valhalla Park, Sightsee, Town 2, and Woodstock. Really busy now, working with over 370 children a day. And these are not just poor children, these are, again, the chronically neglected, school dropouts, street child type, assessed by social workers as in need of care and protection. Doing amazing work, picking up some horrific cases. I really take my hats off to the childcare workers and social workers who just walk with these children and make them safe. We did lots of things before the lockdown, like we went away on a camp, Blue Train, we had Christmas celebrations and delivered food parcels to the real needy. It's our organogram with our board, and that's interesting. Just highlighting some of the major staff. Annie, who's been with the Homestead for a long time, and this is our financial manager, Lindani. And then Dahlia, who's actually a volunteer, and she helps me out with all the HR stuff and training. And volunteers, we have had some amazing volunteers. Wings of Support came out and painted Town 2 and put in a new kitchen, fixed up the bathroom. We've had FNB planting trees. We've had people coming to do all sorts of things. The Christmas party with Claudia and Charles, they put on clothes every year. We're very grateful for. The children love getting the new clothes every year. Thanks to everyone for the fundraiser where we raised over 300,000 Rand at the Radisson Red. There was a good party and celebration, and we had one of our young men speaking as well. Again, acknowledgements. The list is extensive, and every single one of you is making a contribution, so thank you very much. Monthly donors, requests, thank you to the late Annette Coburn and the late Joseph Langer Grumfield, the artist who supported us for many years, for their bequest to the Homestead. As one of the Launchpad youth says, you'll always be in our hearts. Donations in kind don't get enough credit. We've got so many people really on a daily basis helping us out. INJ gives us fish on every week. Woolworths gives us lots of stuff. But the list just goes on, and I'm grateful to every single one of you. Some interesting stories. Ayabonga has got his driver's license. The first child still at the Homestead to get his driver's license. He's still with us at the Launchpad. We paid for it, but he did all the hard work, so we're very proud of him. He always wanted to be a driver. You know, sometimes the little things that make a big difference. Stephen got glasses and now can see, and he's really, really happy and wants everyone to wear glasses. This is our needs list, and don't forget to donate. That's all for me.
Thank you, Paul. Continuing on in the same vein, I always talk about the Homestead family, and I see Sandra's here. I see a lot of our family members always contributing in whatever way they can. But this has been a particularly trying time as far as COVID is concerned. A lot of new changes, a lot of and changes not always easy, but it was taken with aplomb, and the kids were, or the young men were always involved in the decision making, and by that they were able to then buy into the whole process. And as you can see, it's also always exciting to know to start looking at the good stories. And one of the amazing stories is that we've now have 10 of the young boys who become young men leave the homestead nest, but never forgotten. And we always will be there as a safety net whenever they require us, because they are integrally part of our homestead family. The board has been, or the hard work of the board has led us to a point which Paul mentioned so fleetingly, is that our admin costs have been reduced from 15.7% to under 10%. So effectively, all or 90% of the monies that Homestead raises is now being plowed into and the effect of the program of the actual child. We some time ago said to ourselves that we should be streamlining our offering to an extent that we could start impacting the child more and more, and start looking at spending more and more of the homestead budget in the development of the child. And we've been able to achieve that. Being an engineer, that's one of the first things I looked at when Paul started giving us the annual report, because numbers don't lie. Then there were two other things that I'd like to highlight. Is the dropping centers are not just focused on the boy child; it's also focused on the girl child. Out of the 350 children that we deal with in our dropping centers, 220 are boys and 130 of them are girls. Which also something as a board we've always looked at going forward, to once we've streamlined our offering, that the offering must be available to more than just the boy child. It should also be available to the girl child, but that is stuff that we will work through. The issue around the number of youth that is now finishing matric, going through the school system, as well as being at college, also excites us, and it's something that we've actually spent a lot of time and effort on. The issue around the boys, the actual launch pad was never designed for what it's currently being operated as. And so for us, that should be one of our big goals, is to look at how do we actually move the launch pad into a building that is fit for purpose, for the delivery that Liesel and her staff is actually achieving with the young men. So currently the building we have is not fit for purpose, and so we have a serious disconnect at that point, but we will be working very hard in getting the building, because if you want to deliver on the product, you need to have the right environment. Then lastly, for me and the board, it's always been about enhancing the family, the Homestead family. And we're very, 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 very grateful, because the family is yourselves as donors, yourselves as staff, the boys, as well as the board themselves. So we always see ourselves as one big family, and we are extremely grateful for the family that is ever more caring and more giving, because at the end of the day, that's how we're actually going to be able to change our society to be a more caring and giving society. Anyway, so that's enough said. Is there any comments? Although there's no. Okay, I'm not. One of the things about these onlines is that there's no feedback, so I'll move along swiftly. So moving on to item number D on the agenda, I am extremely happy that after 5 years of planning, we as the board has decided and accepted the appointment of one of our own. Arafat is now officially a board member on the Homestead board. The board has also accepted a resolution that Kenny van Aert will be serving on the board for the next year, and Lance Berger would be has been reappointed for the next 2 years. So that's quite exciting as far as I'm concerned. So welcome, Arafat.
He's here. Arafat, introduce yourself.
Hi, Fuzan. Hi, Paul. Thank you for appointing me on the board. It's really a privilege for me to see that I can come and give back to a place where I started my life when I got in South Africa, and the importance Homestead played in my life. And I can, I've been coming back to the Homestead to always try and give back, but now it's on another level where I'm going to be contributing to make sure that the boys get the things that they need and they deserve.
Thank you, Arafat. It's been long in coming, and you've served your community well. And we hope and pray that you are guided to continue to, and blessed to continue to serve your community in the way that you have, and be an example to all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was trying. Oh, so we're moving on to E, an item on the agenda. Any other business, Paul?
I don't have any other business. I don't know if anybody wants to comment or raise anything.
Is there any comments? Other than, can you all now put your Jerusalem video on? Sorry, I'm just being facetious. Okay. First of all, once again, thanks very much for taking out the time and being the people that you are, amazingly giving, amazingly part of this Homestead family. And may you always be blessed in being part of this family of ours. I'd like to then close this meeting, and Paul, I believe you got something to do.
Yes, indeed. Just a little something from all the children and the staff. I really appreciate this. We've just got a little video. I hope it works. Just for you all.
And there can be no better way to celebrate our South Africanness than joining the global phenomenon that is spreading across the world, and that is the Jerusalem Dance Challenge. The Jerusalem song that I love so much.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami. awukhona buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami.
So I hope you enjoyed that. Happy Heritage Day to everyone and to all the kids. We had great fun making that. So you saw some of the staff in the background.
Marcus, you can see why the board is not in the video. We don't have the feet for it. We might have the rhythm, but we don't have the feet. Or maybe I'm talking about myself, Arafat.
Next year.
Thanks very, very much, people. Really appreciate it. It's exciting times. There's one more thing I forgot to mention, but I'll mention it and we don't have to minute it, is we really have to focus on another drop-in center in Elsie's River where we identified a massive need. So we continually evolving. But once again, thank you very much. Can't thank you enough. Stay safe.